WrestleMania 34 is now behind us, and thus, the long, winding journey to next year's event can begin. The next showcase of the Immortals takes place on April 7th, 2019. Much will happen between now and then, but given the strong start WWE have made to 2018, there are plenty of reasons to be excited about the future. Nonetheless, there are lots of things the company need to tighten up ahead of Mania 35, but if they can tick off the majority of this checklist, they'll be all set for an awesome event. I'm Andy from WhatCulture.com, and here are 10 things that must happen before WrestleMania 35. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to stay notified. Ding, ding, done. Number 10. Fix the United States title. The Fatal 4-Way wasn't WrestleMania's worst match, but it may have been the least interesting, with Rude, Rusev, Jinder and Orton barely breaking out of second gear. The scene is a mess at the moment. AJ Styles' reign was blighted by authority figures, and since then it's been dull champion after dull champion, with Rude and Randy struggling to generate any kind of enthusiasm. The once proud belt needs a kick up the arse. Install a champion the fans actually believe in, remove the vanilla rest hold merchants, and rebuild it around fun mid-card bouts, or watch it fall apart completely. Number 9. A happy Rusev Day. With reference to our previous point, Rusev would have made a fine United States champion, but he was pinned by Jinder at WrestleMania and lost a follow-up #1 contenders match on SmackDown just 2 days later. His situation is gross. One of the most popular acts in the company he may be, but WWE still think he's a heel and a push isn't forthcoming. This is despite his status as a top t-shirt shifter and an endlessly charismatic performer who can get anything over. Rusev Day is a great gimmick, but it'll die without a push. Granted, it wouldn't be the first time the company have wasted a beloved star, but it's time to rethink the big man's push, or lack thereof. Number 8. Rebuild the Empress. Charlotte Flair pulled a massive WrestleMania shock, forcing the undefeated Asuka to tap to her figure 8, thus ending her lengthy undefeated streak. The Empress now finds herself in a unique position. She's vulnerable for the first time in her WWE career, and her character's biggest hook is gone. She should be fine, but only with an effective follow-up, and it needs to start now. Continuing to present Asuka as a stone-cold killer is vital. She can't just start going 50-50 with the likes of Dana Brooke and Natalya now that her streak is gone, and if WWE balls this up, they'll be destroying a huge asset. Number 7. A new Paul Heyman guy. Brock Lesnar has ran his course. The Beast has re-signed, but it's a short-term deal, and when he eventually drops the Universal title, it may be time to finally let the part-timer go. When he does go, WWE should keep Paul Heyman around. Sure, the advocate shtick is tired and a lot of us are pretty fed up with it, but he remains one of the greatest talkers of all time. Offer him a cushy new contract, pair him up with an appropriate wrestler, and watch both soar. It'd allow Heyman to reinvent himself and push one last star to the moon. And while Curtis Axel and Cesaro show that his rub isn't bulletproof, there's no reason Paul can't succeed again. Number 6. Repackage Roman Reigns. The big dog is dead. The experiment has failed. It's game over and time to start afresh. The music, vest, finishers, promo delivery, each is associated with failure, and everything must go. Reigns looked like the biggest loser in the world at Mania and isn't going to get over the way the company intend. Granted, this isn't in the least bit likely, but it's what WWE must do if they're ever going to remove the poison from their main event scene. Number 5. Braun Strowman, World Champion. Though he spent WrestleMania 34 teaming with a 10-year-old, the monster among men remains one of WWE's hottest acts. There was a time last year when he was easily the most popular wrestler on Raw. That's when he should have been pushed to the moon, but he wasn't. Fortunately, there's plenty of time to rectify that before WrestleMania 35. Strowman has earned a big title run. He's an endlessly entertaining giant who has proven he can get anything over, so why wait any longer? Number 4. Ronda runs the gauntlet. After an awesome in-ring debut, it's time for Ronda Rousey to find her true place in the women's division, and there's absolutely no point in having her fart around with the Alicia Foxes of the world. Rousey is a bona fide star, and she should be working with the top woman immediately. That means big-time matches and feuds with Bayley, Sasha Banks, and any other Revolution standard bearers. She'll only improve by working with such talented, experienced stars, and booking her against lesser performers would be the equivalent of penning a John Cena versus Kurt Hawkins feud. It doesn't make any sense, so don't do it. Number 3. The Undertaker says goodbye. The John Cena squash was a success, but there's a risk in him sticking around, as the Cena match's length did hide his weaknesses, but he has more than earned enough goodwill for one last Mania bout. Frankly, it's what he deserves, but WWE must make it clear that this is Undertaker's last beforehand. Have the dead man announce his impending retirement in early 2019, then let wrestlers battle it out for the chance to face him at Mania. It'd be a fun storyline and build towards a memorable conclusion. Number 2. Bayley vs Sasha. It's disappointing that Bayley vs Sasha Banks didn't make it onto the WrestleMania card, but their tension isn't going anywhere, and WWE don't need to rush it. Still, there's no way the company can keep this going for another year. They need to pull the trigger before interest levels inevitably fall off, so let's just get it done. Big summer program starting at Backlash then concluding at SummerSlam makes all the sense in the world. And if the matches are as good as the ones they had in NXT, excellence is guaranteed. Number 1. Miz and Bryan collide. In an ideal world, The Miz versus Daniel Bryan for the Universal or WWE title would headline WrestleMania 35. Their feud was SmackDown's biggest highlight in 2016, and now that Bryan's back, WWE can finally capitalize on their immense heat. The promos alone would be absolute fire, and the matches exceptional. Imagine a world in which they don't reignite their feud. Sounds awful, doesn't it? WWE would be insane not to start it long before WrestleMania 35, leading to a potential final battle between the duo at the event itself.
Why would you look at that? You got all the way to the end of the video and your mother said you'd amount to nothing. What are the chances? While you're here, why not watch one of our other many, possibly quite good channels, or watch another video which will be largely in the same vein as the quality content you've just